So one of the questions that I get from potential partners that are looking to use Clickx on a white label basis is who generates the ad copy, the ad creatives, the design, the text, all the elements that go into a campaign. Is that something that you guys do? Or is that something that I have to do? Or is it something the client has to do? Do I have to spoon feed you every little detail, or is this something that you guys can handle, or is it a collaboration? Do I do this? Tell me more. And it's a very, very concerning question. It's like, hey, to what extent do you take ownership, right? To what extent do you take ownership of all the assets, all the pieces that we need in order to get this campaign off the ground? I worked with contractors, freelancers, companies even that claim to be so amazing at everything, and then when it comes to the actual campaign, they're still like, well, can you send me this? Can you send me that? Can you send me this? And I'm just like, wait, if I can send you all those things, why can't I just go ahead and do it myself? Many cases, you run into the situation of who's actually doing the legwork, the ad copy, the strategy, and what to do and what not to do, right? Sometimes in strategy, it's more about what not to do than it is what to do. So who's doing that? Well, our experience, we find it to be most effective when we can drive the strategy, write the ad copy, design the elements based on all the information that we've gathered from the client. The reason we want to do that is that we want to make sure that use all our experiences, past examples, case studies, success stories, what worked in the past, what do we know about the industry, how do we get success for different clients, using all of that. Use the best practices internally, right? Use all the resources that we have, all the expertise, come up with something that we know it has a high propensity to be successful right out of the gate. Now, do we have the customer give us approval on every little piece of creative? Absolutely. Maybe the client or the agency may have designers on staff, ad copywriters on staff. Are they involved? Absolutely. It's a collaboration, but when you don't have those resources, you don't have to worry about, coming up with those resources. You can rely on our resources. Our team takes ownership in that first month to get everything set up. Whether that means you have no idea what the ad copy is, or you have 10 bullet points that you would like us to incorporate into the campaign. Different partners, different clients are different levels of sophistication. Some may not even know what their unique value proposition is. Some have their branding figured out. Maybe they have a branding guideline and a book to go with it, or a website to make sure that we follow these guides. Different clients are different levels. So we work with our partner, we work very closely with our clients to make sure that we identify exactly what we can or cannot say. Many of our clients are under compliance, right? In the financial industry, or they might be working in the mortgage or real estate, anything, right? Even in the healthcare space, they have to make sure they cannot say certain things, or legal industry. So many of those things have to be approved by compliance even before we can send it off to Facebook or Google to run a campaign. So we make sure that in every single situation, the client is involved, the partner is involved, to whatever extent the relationship might be. Make sure that we're running the right type of campaign to the right target, to the right ad copy, the right messaging, the right offer, going to the right landing pages. And also we're part of that process of developing it, or we're doing all of it on our own to make sure that client doesn't have to do anything, or the agency for that matter. So hopefully you got some idea as to, hey, who actually does some of that campaign creatives and the strategy and the ad copies and so on. We have a lot of veterans in our organization that has been doing this forever. I'm talking over a decade, and sometimes even many more decades, to make sure that we have the best ad copy, we have the best chance of success right out of the gate. That's our goal. And benchmarking that, working on increasing that, depending on the situation of whatever results that might be coming in from the campaign, right? It's an agile sort of a campaign, so that means that we're making constant tweaks as the time progresses and as the data is coming in from more activity, more clicks, more impression, more conversions. All of those things add up and say, hey, how did we do in last month? How did we do the month before? How did we do last quarter? How did we do last year? And how do we make sure that this year is going to be better? How do we lower our cost per conversion in a world where the cost per click is only rising? So we want to make sure that we control as many variables as possible going to get us the results that we're looking for. So hopefully you got some value out of this video and how we actually manage that campaign implementation right out of the gate. So if you have more questions, my calendar is right here on this page. Go ahead and schedule a time with one of our consultants, and learn more about whether or not Clickx is the right fit for your organization. So if you have more questions, send us an email, schedule a time, and I'll see you next time.